and good evening. I'm Melisa Idris. Welcome to The Future is Female. This is the show where we find the extraordinary in every woman. I'm delighted to introduce my guest today, Dato Nonee Ashirin Mohammed Radzi, who's the Executive Chairperson of Global Turbine Asia, which is a maintenance, repair and overhaul service provider of military and civil engines in the Southeast Asia region, Asia Pacific region, excuse me. She's also the president of the Coalition of Defence Industry Malaysia. Welcome to the show, Dato Nonee. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to me today. I have yet to interview someone who's in the aerospace and defence industry, and I'm curious to know a little bit about your journey and how you got into this field. Because if I understand correctly, you were trained as a lawyer.
That's right.
So at what point did you pivot into defence and aerospace, and what has kept you in this industry for so many years?
Okay. Thank you, Melisa, for having me on the show. I'm truly excited. And the introduction is also an overwhelming one, being that I lead the defence industry. So this is the story. I'm actually trained as a lawyer, was called to Lincoln's Inn, and I practiced as a barrister for a couple of years. However, in my younger days, in my college days, my dad started Lima, Dato Radzi Manan. He started as an organizer back in 1991. So I grew up with the show, Melisa. And I love the sound of the, engines of the planes and, men in uniform, why not? So I guess that drew me in, the love and the passion for aerospace industry. I practiced for a couple of years, then I found my way back to the defence industry. And long story short, it has been good 30 years supporting the armed forces.
Okay, well, talk to me a little bit about this, the specific sector that you're in, maintenance, repair and overhaul. So maybe give us an idea of what the sector does, what this specific subsector does. Okay.
It's an ecosystem for sure, right? You build a plane, you sell the plane, and then what happened after sales. So my segment is mainly after sales services. So you got to maintain, and if there is something to be repaired, and of course you've used the plane and it's time to make it good, so it's overhaul. So that's where the acronym is: maintenance, repair and overhaul.
MRO.
MRO. MRO in Malaysia constitute a very important sector in our aerospace.
We're quite well
industry.
Known for it.
Yes, definitely. You know why? It's because 50% of the aerospace activity is made of MRO, people who are helping to repair, to maintain all the aircraft. And once upon a time, Melisa, Malaysia Airlines Engineering was the third largest engineering company. So we had a bunch of really smart Malaysians who repaired many planes for third-party airline in the world. So I think how I would like to describe Malaysians in our sphere is that we are the best value set of people. We are highly trained. We know what we're doing, and we are quite, marketable in the international sphere.
Wonderful. Did you, when you first entered this industry, did you see a lot of women who were in there? I mean, what was that landscape like for women in particular?
Well, if you look at commercially, my time, there wasn't many. Probably women are associated to cabin crew or ground staff.
Right.
Because we are pretty. We're prettier than a man, for sure. But over the years, it's because of really the, the visionary of our top leadership. We came with the Malaysian Aerospace Blueprint, and that was back in 1995.
Oh, wow.
It was launched. And we carried on to revise the blueprint and to make sure there is the inclusivity of the human capital development. So women is given a fair chance. However, there are not enough of us. When I first started, of course, I was among the few. And I believe now Malaysia has opened up the industry to many women who are ambitious. We have many pilots who are women, and of course engineers too.
Did you ever envision yourself in the cockpit? Did you ever think that?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Now you're in the boardroom, but did you ever say, hey, maybe I was meant for the cockpit or the control room, for instance?
Okay, I'm going to share this secret with you to share with the audience. Is whenever I was in a helicopter, because I was working for Eurocopter back in 2000, early 2000. And every time, if I have a chance to fly, I'll be beside the pilot.
Oh, wow.
So I've clocked in many flying hours on helicopters. Of course, I don't have a license, but it's just because I was so passionate about it. I love flying, so I ensure that, okay, guys, go to the back. I'll be with the pilot next to him.
So, what is that experience like? I mean, so few of us can say that we've been in the cockpit of a helicopter. What is that experience like?
I really love it in the sense that because I like to see the instruments. I like to read in terms of, you know, navigational sort of thing. So I will ask the pilot, you know, at what altitude, how far are we traveling at which direction,
right,
and how fast. So yes, it's because I love
you
what I do.
should get your flying license.
I know. One day.
I would be there for your inaugural flight.
Oh, definitely, I'll remember this.
Okay, so talk to me about rising through the ranks. I think it's so important that leaders understand what the ground is like for the industry that they're in. And clearly you have such an interest, a hands-on interest in this industry. But as you were rising through the ranks, as you were helming your business in this male-dominated industry, what, if I may ask you to put on the gender lens, what challenges did you face as a woman rising through the defense and aerospace systems?
You must understand there's two parts. One is customer fronting, which is mainly Ministry of Defense and aerospace customers, and of course the suppliers. So the people that I work with are big companies from Europe.
Right.
So I have to do balancing, right? So if you ask me about what are the challenges from a woman perspective of a business owner, I'm a lady, how do they treat me? Is that if I can go in that sort of interpretation? Of course, at first instance, they would think that I am probably the HR or the personal assistant. You know, that's a very stereotyping sort of thing. But I believe that women they have an advantage. I mean, I use the advantage that being that you're a lady, you present yourself well, and it's you open the doors fairly easier because they're welcoming. But however, you must make sure that you also have the credibility. So you must have knowledge. So that apart from looking nice, or you have the beauty and brains.
You have the substance to back it up.
Definitely,
right? Yeah.
Because in my well, it's a jungle out there in any business. People size you up. People will try to understand where you're coming from. So it is also that you must present yourself with knowledge.
Do you feel like you might have to work 2-3 times harder to accomplish what men maybe take for granted or get so easily? It's often said that women have to work 2-3 times as hard just to get to the same level as men. Did you feel that way, that you have to prove yourself more?
I believe that anybody who wants to be successful will have to work hard. It can be also with another lady, but if your attitude is not right, you don't feel that you need to do the extra, I don't think anybody would be as successful as they want it to be.
So more about personal initiative, is it?
It's always the attitude, Melisa. I have to tell myself that, you know, I got to put on my best shoes and, you know, put on a good outlook today. It's always a battle every day. Sometimes I would love to say, hey, I want to relax a little bit, but no, it's the attitude towards your career, it's the attitude towards your business, and what is your vision that you present to people around you, your staff, your stakeholders, and are you wanting to contribute to the nation? So I believe that I have a bigger dream, bigger vision that I'm after.
Okay. Do you see more women coming into the aerospace and defence industry?
Definitely.
Yeah.
At the last, 2023 Lima, I've actually signed a charter with the UN convention, which includes women. It is the diversity, inclusivity, and gender issue. So I have actually agreed that GTA, Global Turbine Asia, my company would start to, as an example, to include more women in the management and also into the board. Of course, to find the right fit, it's not easy. Even to find board directors who are in the aerospace sphere, there are not many. I mean, if I want to find a nice chairman to put at the company, and then I would look around and say, who has the aerospace? And I would say Tan Sri Rafida, at least, because she's on Air Asia. But there are not many of us. So I think it is a responsibility that we create more women, educate them into and have the experience into aerospace and defense.
So how do you see that happening if you were to look at the entire kind of pipeline of talent, right? Because if you want to make sure that you have enough women to fill your board seats, you have to grow that pipeline talent, ensure that there's a sufficient talent pool. What practical steps, when we think about it, everything from kind of workplace culture to policies that make it more conducive for women to enter these industries, what would make aerospace and defense more welcoming to women?
Oh, okay. Because I've gone on the other side of the fence. I'm from aerospace, and I've gone to be on board of FGV.
Oh, yes.
Okay, it's a biggest plantation, plantation. And it was kind of funny because our ex-minister, Tokpa Mustafa Mohammed, he says, what is an aerospace lady going into the plantation? So I had to learn and make sure that I discharge my duty as an independent director. So equally, I am sure that there are ladies who are willing to learn. So I'm scouting around and to bring in more women. I think that is part and parcel of my endeavour, and invite them into the boardroom. So they will have that sense of, to understand what are the challenges. And I don't think it's a showstopper for a lady to learn into aerospace, because I've done the same thing into plantation. So again, as I believe that there are many talented, potentially women directors who can be groomed into the
Can I ask
sector.
You, when you look at the entire industry, the sector as a whole, where do you see the biggest opportunities for women in aerospace and defense? Do you see it in engineering? Do you see it in leadership, design, boardroom, in space exploration, in pilots? Where do you see
Funny you said one of the things that I love, so I'm going to take a little bit of your time.
Sure.
Okay, with the good university programs, they have rolled out actually many engineers, young girls and boys equally into the engineering. So it's about the working level. Yes, there are many already, and there are also pilot schools which welcome talented women into the flight path, right, to command an aircraft. Now, the difficult thing is to command at higher level when it comes to space, defense, or aerospace. To tell you the truth, in defense, I can just name a few ladies, business owners that are actually into defense. So we are not that many. Therefore, to scale up the level of networking into defense, so we have chartered a conference that we speak about women in defense, security and peace. So I hope that through some networking at these kind of conferences will actually create more opportunities for women. So we have been talking about this. So if you look it up, Melisa, we kind of put the ecosystem together. Right. So that's addressing the defense sector. Now let's talk about space. Oh my God. Okay.
Tell me.
Okay.
What is the vision that you have for Malaysia in the space race?
I confused everybody in the office, my staff, and when the last Lima, I said, look, I don't know what it is, but we got to go into the space race. Oh. I said to them, if that lady, all those bunch of ladies can go up to the space.
Oh, you're talking about the Virgin, the Blue Virgin flights.
It's the
Katy Perry
and the whole lot. Surely the space is, the race for space is now free for all. It's being, how do you say, democratized. Everybody can actually have a swing at it. So it was a little bit awful for the staff because they don't know what sort of direction. However, once we put up something, a showcase at Lima, please look it up, the space segment. It was first ever a space segment which we invited the Russian cosmonaut. He came from Yuri Gagarin Moscow Cosmonaut Training Center. We had Tansri Mazlan Othman.
Yes, our
superstar, the lady in space, the rock star. Yes, she was there, and what I did was I created a foundation. It's called Nonee Ashirin Foundation. We are now supporting the creation of school for young cosmonaut, for school kids to be exposed to space programs, or just to make sure that they can dream of going to space. And this is with the Russian cosmonaut program. It is wide-reaching. It's just that people coming together and giving Malaysia that inspiration that we shouldn't stop aiming for the Mars, no longer the moon, going to Mars or Jupiter. And what was interesting is that I saw something in Penang when the Chinese came in. They have a very big planetarium that educates the public. Okay, Melisa, they would show in 3D, in the whole motions of things, on how their space exploration, the foray of things are being done. So I want to do the same thing. I'm not interested in military satellites or whatever that you send. I think let's look at educating our young folks. Yeah. I want to go into the space because at that point I saw the man walking on the moon and I said, Mom, I want to become an astronaut. But at least there was a dream. Yeah. And now I'm helping, hopefully, some young kids that maybe one day you can go to Mars. I hear
you completely, because the importance of dreaming or shooting for the stars cannot be overstated. I think sometimes we dismiss young children's dreams like that. We think, oh, you know, they'll be silly. But there is such joy and wonder of dreaming big, of thinking that you can be more. And sometimes space programs, I know they cost a lot of money, but the vision and the dream that it instills in a population is
amazing, isn't it? Amazing.
Intangible. The value cannot be recreated. And I do have to ask you, so there's a lot of, with aerospace, with defense, with aviation, there's a lot of push and pull. You know, there's the part of it that's wonderful, that's dreamer, like shoot for the stars, dreamer quality. There is another part which is also very real and not so positive. So the defense industry is really opaque. It's you know, it's got issues with governance, and in this day and age where you know, the world is in turmoil, there's so much death and destruction, we're in the age of a genocide. How do you look at it, someone within the industry, when you think about juggling commercial interests, national security, your part as a human, as a woman, your humanity in this world, how do you make sense of it all? And I'm asking really because I think it's a tough time to be alive and to be a woman, and I'm sure in this industry it's not easy.
Melisa, you said, how do I make sense of things? I can't make sense of things. It's just, we were sharing that, you know, Israeli launched attacks into Qatar, into Doha. I have friends in Doha. I was in Europe a few months ago. People were having nice time, having summer holidays, and yet people are, you know, being made homeless in Gaza. Children are dying from hunger. There's a lot of disparity. is a world which is very complicated from what we are used to 30 years ago when I was growing up. Of course, I feel that the future, our future generation, will have to be a lot tougher because everything is moving super fast and a lot of uncertainty. Hence, somebody that have seen a lot of things, defense sector should be used in terms of peacekeeping. It's not about warmongering or destruction. Yes, there are some specific set of people who use it for their political, how do you say, intentions, or you know, to position themselves. But countries like us, we must be, how do you say, loud speaking, or to take our stand that we want peace. And whatever that we invest into is about self-defense, and to make sure that whatever peace that we have for our nation in the region is well protected. So we have some crazy people out there, but nevertheless, we got to do what is right for our kids. We have to do what is right for human race. When I was talking to Tan Sri Mazlan Osman, when we talk about space program, it's about the human race going into space. There's nothing about your Malaysian or whatever, it's about the human race. So there is a bigger agenda that when we speak about this. So I hope that part of the nation building is to ensure that our children is fighting for the human race as a whole, because it's no longer about being very much nationalistic anymore. The world is shrinking. I think people should know this. In a split second, whatever that happens in Malaysia is known as it goes. That's the reality of things. Therefore, whatever that we are doing in defense, self-reliance, peacekeeping, R&D into strategic security is inevitable, because we have to protect whatever that we have on this side of the world. And I believe Malaysians are so lucky, because I'm quite well traveled. I will share with you that where there's Ukrainian and the Russians are at war, people are just feeling so afraid. They will come together and trying to find how do they help to these people who are being displaced. Even in Europe, it's not just about people in Gaza. So surely we don't want to even think that one day our children will face the same thing. Whatever that we have that we take for granted, such as peace, neutrality, serenity, and you know, whatever that we have in Malaysia shouldn't be taken for granted. So my commitment is always to make sure that whatever the armed forces, we support them in terms of my defense activities, because whatever they're doing is for all of us to ensure that there's somebody to protect us. It was kind of funny. I just share one story. I was diving as a family activity. We scuba dive in Sipadan. So I was at the resort and there were snipers. All right. And of course,
the border, that area.
Of course, you know, Sipadan is a very sensitive area. And the remark was coming from INDEF. I said, I can see your snipers. I can see the troops coming in because they're on the shift. I said, it is for your security, Dato. We take care of the people. So there's a lot that whenever there is Merdeka Day, I have a lot of, how do you say, good feelings and to support our armed forces, because I know there's a lot of sacrifice, the sacrifices that they have done to make sure that we are safe. So let's not take it for granted.
Absolutely. And in the couple minutes that we have left, I do want to ask you, so what would you say, Dato, to young women watching today, you know, and a young woman who may be listening and thinking, I'm passionate about engineering, I'm passionate about aerospace, I may have a dream to go into space one day, but she's not quite sure whether there is a place for her. What is the advice, or one piece of honest advice you would give to her if you made it?
Never stop dreaming. Yes, I mean, you know, dreams do come true, and with a lot of perseverance, and of course, berdoa, you pray that your dreams would come true, and a bit of luck, and I'm sure your prayers will be heard. and you'll be part of this lovely ecosystem. And if you ask me, would I have done something differently in my life? I wouldn't.
This is for you.
Yes, and I would still carry on. God bless, inshallah, for the next 15, 20 years, is to make sure that there will be a lot of interesting aerospace and space things for Malaysians.
May there be many, many other women who come behind
definitely,
you as well.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for being on the show with me. It's been such a joy to talk to you. Thank you.
Likewise, Melisa. Thank you.
That's all the time we have for you on this episode of The Future is Female. I'm Melisa Idris, signing off for the evening. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.